Friday night. I'm ready, visitor MZ504G Money. Thank you for joining us. Happy Friday.
All right.
Yes. Hey, Stanley, Justice. How are you this evening? Brandon Rice. Hi. Got a hot topic for you guys this evening, this Friday night. Friday Night Live.
Yeah. That's what it is. Friday Night Live.
Yes, it is. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for being a part of the J&B family. Much love to you guys, and thank you for rocking with us this Friday evening. Okay? All right, we've got a hot topic this evening. Stand on business. Vernell Moore, how are you this evening? It's called Pimp Trump. Yeah, he is a pimp. Call him daddy. That's what y'all should be calling him, right? Call him daddy. Okay? In this provocative episode, I am your girl, Dr. B. We got the host, Broker J3 over here. We're going to dig into symbolism, the cultural and the political dynamics, and the money behind calling your president Trump daddy. Okay, it says everybody in the White House seem to be doing it. And some people that are part of the GOP, some MAGAs, they are referring to him as daddy. But do they understand really what that word means, particularly in the Black culture, but also across generation and across the different audiences? So is Trump pimping out the American people, guys? Do you think he's pimping out the American people? Do you think he's pimping out his MAGA base, the GOP, to get what he wants? We're going to examine how he's gained his wealth in office, where the money may have gone, and how daddy, the rhetoric plays into power, loyalty, and identity. So let's get it going.
All right, guys. New episode. Starting right now.
More drama.
Yeah, we're pulling up the punches.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys go ahead and share with your friends and drop any questions that you guys may have either on X Threads, Instagram, Bigo Live, or YouTube or TikTok, and we'll answer it live, guys.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Shout out to the listeners across all ages, all platforms, students, working folks, elder. We see you, and guys, we hear you. So thank you to those of you who shared this episode, commented, tipped, message us. Tell a friend, guys. We want you to listen. Share this with someone you may know.
Yeah, guys. Make sure you also tag us at Live with J&B, at Broker J3, and at Dr. B. We appreciate you guys. And for this episode, hey, use hashtag Call Daddy. So let's make this thing go viral, guys.
I like how you said that. Okay, first we're going to take a look at the daddy as power, culture, and symbolism. Call him daddy. All right, family, let's go. Okay, when someone calls another person daddy, I know you guys have heard that too many times in certain communities,
yes,
particularly in the Black community. It carries a lot of weight. It's not just affectionate. It often implies dominance, authority, protection, and control. In the African American culture, guys, daddy has layered meanings. You guys know that, tied into sexual, familiar, historic power dynamics that even you think about the plantation legacies and power imbalance, guys. So this is a hot topic. A lot of people don't realize what that daddy term means to some people.
Exactly. And we're going to get into it, And now in the White House, you see his aides, senators. I mean, even the media folks are acting like Trump is their daddy boss.
Okay.
It's like their daddy boss, and it's almost reverent, which is really crazy. But the question we raise is, do they really understand what using that word signals? And are they complicit in the power play? That's what we really want to know.
Okay, guys. So, like I said, do they realize, the people calling him daddy, do they realize what that daddy means? Okay. So now we're going to look at the title, Pimp Trump. Okay, guys. First, let's look outside of the Black culture. Daddy as a term has been co-opted in the pop culture. Think of the call me daddy trope in social media, sexual context, etc. So when you have people calling or embracing the term daddy towards Trump, there's a confluence of race, power, politics, and identity, people.
Exactly. So our title that we got going today
Yeah.
is, Pimp Trump, because it's like this. And it's intentionally provocative, okay? We're not literally saying that he's a pimp in the criminal sense, okay?
No.
Though some critics might argue
Yeah.
metaphorically, you know what I'm saying? Because technically, we feel like he is pimping America. We're asking, is Trump using the people, his base, the GOP, mechanism,
Mhm.
his donors, and his stable building loyalty through control,
Yes, he is.
leveraging their devotion for his own gain. We keep talking about that cult, that MAGA cult.
That MAGA cult. Yes, yes. Like I say, every time they say yes, daddy, something just go off from me. Okay. So what's happening is it says every time a senator says yes, daddy, they're giving up a piece of their say so. They don't realize that. And then they just take it a step further and they want everybody to call him daddy.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about that conference where Pete Hegseth and Mark Rubio was with
Lil
Trump.
Mark.
Yeah, and Lil Mark called Trump daddy, and even the reporter said, "Hey, your guy just called you daddy," and it's like, well, I hope they feel like I'm like a daddy to him. That's not good. He's your boss, true enough, but he's definitely not your daddy. But again, in this segment, we want to frame how the daddy narrative plays culturally. Let's talk about generational reactions.
Mhm.
Young folks might see daddy as a meme culture,
Yeah.
or a sexual slang, which, daddy, older folks might see it as demeaning or infantilizing. So this dialogue will matter across the generations, okay?
Yes, it will matter, guys. And just to take a step back further, every time they call him dad, it's like they're giving up some of their power because the more you call him that, he really, he's a control freak as it is. He really thinks he's in control now.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it can get crazy. Okay, so shout out again to all of our listeners. We got Edward Buford on. I think he's joining us on TikTok. We've got Alicia. We've got Calvin the doctor and Willow that's joining us. So thank you guys that are joining us. You didn't have to be here with us. You could be getting ready to go to a game or something, but thank you for being a part of the J&B family. And thank you for joining us on this Friday Night Live.
Special edition.
Yes.
All right. Call him daddy. All right now. All right. So who's calling him daddy? And let's try to find out why. Okay. We'll take a look inside the White House, actually, who in his staff, or his cabinet is calling him daddy. And we want to know why. So let's dive deep into that. Okay, Dr. B?
Okay. All right. We can take a deep dive. Okay. Let's get into the specific, guys. So there have been reports and whispers that should suggest that many people in Trump's cabinet, his little inner circle, use that term daddy. We've got the staffers, we have the advisors, we have the media folks. This isn't necessarily out loud in some cases, but it's part of the culture that's around him. So he's used to people referring to him as daddy. And I think it's going to his head.
I think so too. I really think so too. So question is, why? Because you know why? It reinforces that dependency. So if you locate yourself as a child, uh, the subordinate rather, you give up your power. You give it up. It's almost like you seeking validation, approval or a affirmation from the daddy figure.
Yeah.
That dynamic, Dr. B, is powerful in politics. You know why? Because people will endure more. They'll stay loyal, and they'll swallow hard things, because some of the stuff he says to some of his cabinet staff, they're tough, and push harder for the person that they've elevated.
Okay, guys. So thank you guys for joining us. And what I want guys to do is go ahead and hit that like, that share, and that subscribe. We thank you guys for joining us. Hey, pretty girl, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you for the gifts.
Black
We really
Diamond, thank you for
appreciate
your
it.
gifts. We appreciate you guys, all of your support. Okay. All right. So the question is Trump pimping his base and his allies? Pimping them in the sense of extracting their loyalty, their energy, money, votes in exchange for status, acknowledgement, and access. And to a certain extent, I think he is, because they're telling him, guess what, guys, what he wants to hear.
Always.
And y'all know he loves control now. So he's definitely pimping them because they're telling him what he wants to hear, but they don't realize the power that they're giving up when they commit to using that term daddy.
Exactly, exactly. And you know what? And some of those who call him daddy might think it's a sign of respect, or even love. They might not see the downside. They are giving away leverage, not just to Trump, but to the whole system around them. The whole system.
Yes, I think so as well. I think they're giving away their power. Okay, so Trump does not want ministers with backbone. He wants sons and daughters who say yes, daddy, every single time.
And that's crazy, because when you think about that, most times you see a father figure, somebody that you respect, somebody that leads and guides you. And if they're calling him daddy, and the way Trump lies to the people and don't really care nothing about the regular ordinary people, what did they say about you, calling him daddy, like, you giving him that reverence? It just doesn't make sense. So right now we're going to paint the structure of the power dynamic. Okay. Then we'll pivot to the money side of it. What's the payoff for Trump? How is loyalty turned into profit? Because again, is Trump pimping America? We want to get into that.
Yes, we do.
And again, shout outs to some of our people that's joining us. Blah blah. Jim Post. We have Hate Me. What is it? CFID Bay. Tiff Clark. Boo. Philly Rican. Hey, appreciate you guys joining. Appreciate you guys tapping that screen. We really appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for joining us and help us to get our gift goal that we got posted. We really appreciate it, because every little bit goes a long way. So we thank you guys for that.
Okay, Juan says become the biggest supporters. But thank you, Juan. We appreciate that.
I got a cousin named Juan.
Okay, he said he sent a blue lover to J&B Live Podcast. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Juan.
Thank you. Thank you for staying on business, and thank you, Edward Book Buford, for joining us as well. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you guys. So we're talking about how much has Trump gained and where did it all go. Guys, he has become filthy rich since he's been in office. Let's talk real money. Money moves. According to Forbes, guys, Trump's net worth has surged $3 billion in 1 year, bringing him to $7.3 billion while he's been in office. He's doing this for a reason. So if he's making this kind of money in office, do you think he's going to leave voluntarily?
Yeah,
no, he's not.
That's so wild, Dr. B. Can you imagine? You made $3 billion in less than 9 months. Now, and that's according to Forbes. This is money he's made while being the president. Now, most of you guys don't know the president gets a set amount of money. I think it's 250,000, 500,000, something like that for the year. But it's like when he's in office. Now, Trump didn't even make $3 billion in the last 4 years when he wasn't president. You gotta take that in consideration. But in the last 9 months as president, he's totaled $3 billion. It just doesn't make sense, Dr. B.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. So, according to some outlets, they say his net worth has more than doubled since taking office. Some pegging him at $5.1 billion earlier. So he's getting filthy rich.
Now let's break this down. Some sources of that wealth. Well, first of all, we want to talk about that crypto and meme coin.
Yep. And his sons are taking advantage of that as well.
Exactly. And his second president, Trump, launched a meme coin. Now this is all money making stuff while he's in office.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking advantage of the fact that he's in office. Also, the coin fees and trading activity reportedly generated tens of hundreds of millions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Flowing to Trump affiliates and entities. Now, again, like Doc B said, a lot of his family, they're really pushing that, that meme coin, which is, it's really crazy. It's hard to see a president that's in office that's concentrating more on his wealth than the people in the country. It just does not make sense. You're cutting all kind of programs for people that really need it. We're not talking about the ones that don't need it and abusing the system. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the people that really need some of these programs. You're cutting that while you're pocketing all kinds of billions of dollars on the American people.
And then the key to this is he's pocketing all of this money, billions of dollars, while the American people are going to suffer. You guys know that he's already cut the SNAP benefits. He's cutting Section 8. He's cutting Medicare and Medicaid. All of that's going to be cut. But yet he's getting richer. Now, does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense at all.
Okay. So, guys, let me ask you this. Well, we're going to take a look at some of the licensing and branding deals that he's made. They say he's licensed his name for real estate in Asia, the Middle East, guys. So he's going to get paid for that as well. And guess what? They're going to try to please him because they're going to try to get favors from him. And in my opinion, that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, I believe that's why Qatar gave Trump that jet, that plane that he claimed that is going to become his once he's no longer president. I think that was based off of favors that he wants to take advantage of, while he's president.
Yeah, I agree. And then, of course, Mar-a-Lago and the real estate operations, he's getting profit for that because guess what? When he travels, where does he go to travel most of the time? He goes back to his so-called home in Mar-a-Lago. And guess who's paying for that? The taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all kinds of events, all kinds of memberships, all kinds of rentals going on. So what else you think, Bro J3?
What else? You got to think about the campaigns and the PAC transfers. Some of the money that's donated to his campaign or PACs, it goes into his own properties, his media interests, which is his merch and those events that Doc B is talking about. You have to think about this now. He's already done had major events since being president, $10,000 per person, to come to the White House and meet with him and stuff like that. Not to mention the investigation claim intermingling, meaning that some of the money that he's been getting for his campaign, he's been commingling it basically with his own personal funds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's ask this question, guys. Where did all that money go? What is he doing with all that money? And I'm saying to myself, he's ripping people off left and right. But what are he going to do with all that money? Will he be able to spend it all? Because $3 billion increase is enormous. So some of his possibility that he could be doing with that money he's making, he could be doing insider deals, shell entities, trust where money flows but isn't transparent. And so,
and I think about this. Remember when they was doing the little terrorist situation?
Yeah.
And then when he so-called pulled out from the terrorists, you had people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and a couple other people that knew what was going to happen.
Trading,
and they sold those stocks before he released those early sets of tariffs, and a lot of people became millionaires instantly because of that. Mm-hmm. Come on now.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of them. So, and then I think too, Putin may be giving him some money as well, because just think about it. The first thing he was supposed to do was shut down the Ukraine-Russia war. He has not done that.
Yeah, but
you think about that. Trump is all about money. Every decision that he makes, it has to benefit him in some way.
Yeah, but he claimed he wasn't being serious, when he made that claim about ending that war in one day.
Yeah, okay.
Because leave it up to him, he's already ended, wars that really wasn't really even going on.
Okay. Okay. All right. So also he might be reinvesting into his business empire. He might be doing some real estate, crypto. I know he's doing crypto subsidiaries. What do you think, Jay? What do you think else? What he's doing with all that money that he's making?
Well, some of his expenses. He's still paying a lot of legal fees because he's being sued all over the place. And then he got the payouts. He has many lawsuits, like many lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the ones that he's trying to sue people, and the people that's actually suing him. And then you have to think about his campaign, the political machine. Some of those dollars fuel his base to help promote the daddy brand.
Okay. All right. Okay. So also he might be doing some luxury spending. He might be paying off some of them loans. They said he'd filed bankrupt so many times he may be in the hole. And he also may have some assets valuations that he's trying to take care of as well. He's doing something with it.
Yeah, he's doing something. We're gonna find out what it is, but we must stress to you guys, there is like a murkiness, in public disclosure. Trump does not like to disclose information, especially regarding his finance. So part of that daddy effect is misperception.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use that. Loyalists aren't really asking too many questions, and Trump doesn't always appear to be an open book. You can't just really ask him questions, and when you ask him those type of questions that get to him,
Mm-hmm.
you already see how he responds.
Okay. All right. Okay. So Trump is making billions, guys, while we fight for scraps around here. Okay. Call him daddy if you want, but he's pimping us for profit. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing.
I truly believe it. So we want to go ahead and give another shout out to our listeners right now. Appreciate that Blue Rose one. You really showing out today. We really appreciate it. Thank you, all of you guys that have been sending the gifts. That's tapping that screen and that's putting those comments in there. We love those comments, guys. Don't feel afraid to comment or let us know what you think about what we're talking about, because we're not the only ones that's talking about this subject.
Yeah.
You guys can go to other podcasts or even legacy media, which sometimes it's hard to believe. Everybody's talking about the same thing that's going on. So it's not something that we just made up. These are actually current topics that's going on right now, guys.
Okay, and so I'm going to ask you guys, who's really paying for daddy's empire? Who's paying for your daddy's empire? The American people are.
Yeah, of course. We are the ones that he's running off of right now. And even though we may not want him to, we're making it possible for this to happen,
Mm-hmm.
let alone the Republican base, the MAGA base.
Mm-hmm.
It's really driving him in that daddy complex that he has right now.
Yes, he is. Yes. So guys, okay, now let's take a look at the generational and racial impact of this and who actually gets harmed. So let's get real with this. What does it mean when Black Americans hear "call me daddy"? That's some trauma for some people. That term can evoke historical exploitation, forced relation, and power imbalance. When white politicians or non-Black people casually use that term towards Black or white presidents, it can feel appropriate and dismissive.
It sure can. Because a lot of the younger audiences, again, might take Trump, again, like we said, as like a ironic meme, trolling, or again, like a sexualized nickname.
Yeah.
But older generations, especially in the Black community, they often weigh it in as like discomfort because, the boy, dad, call me your dad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All
that mentality.
That mentality, it ties in. It's just not a good look.
Yeah. Because back to what you said a long time ago, even they would refer to Black men as boy, and they would refer to Black women as girl. They wouldn't call us by our name. That's what they would refer to us as. So, like I said, it does go a little deeper when we're dealing with using that term in the Black community.
It
okay,
sure
guys.
Does.
And beyond race now, for women, if you call Trump daddy, are you placing yourself as a child? And so, you a lot of Black women would probably say, he ain't none of my daddy.
Okay? No, that's right.
That has consequences in how people expect to be treated. He is expecting to be treated in an authoritarian role, which means that he controls you and he tells you what to do. So how much space for opposition should you leave between addressing someone as daddy, particularly a president? I just thought we never even hear anybody refer to a president as daddy.
Yeah, it's probably one of the most craziest things. I mean, even looking at the legacy media, the news, CNN, MSNBC, and all those stations, to hear someone in the cabinet or a senator, referring to him as daddy, like giving him all of that reverence, it's just almost sickening. But let's look at how the GOP, the MAGA supporters might buy into it. I'm gonna tell you how they might buy into it. It fosters that cult personality, and if you see him as daddy, you might rationalize things you otherwise reject. That you be like, nah, that don't even make no sense. But when you start rationalizing him as daddy, you might, okay, it might be all right.
Okay, and now we got some comments from Stand on Business. Said that is a great topic. Wish he would give me some of that money. I know that's right.
True.
Okay, so this reduces accountability. You defer to daddy rather than critique. So so you have to be careful with that. Don't refer to anyone as daddy if you do not see them particularly as a role model or someone that's nurturing.
Exactly, because you know what that does? It cements that tribal loyalty. You fight harder for him. Like you're his protector.
And that's what he wants you to do.
Exactly, Doc B. That's exactly what he wants us to do.
Yeah. So in a sense, Trump is pimping not just the base guys, but every doubting Republican who swallows that term daddy fantasy. He's asking for total loyalty. And that's what it's been said. Even with who's his FBI director? Cash. Yeah,
Cash Patel.
He got rid of a bunch of people that worked for the FBI, the ones that were mostly qualified. But the reason he got rid of them is because he said they were not loyal. They were the ones that had investigated either Trump or those that participated in the January 6th. So he got rid of those because they were not loyal. And I got a feeling that he did that because he received instructions as to that was what he was supposed to do. He had to do that in order to keep his job.
It's truly all about loyalty because I was hearing about another story today where one of his cabinet members had accepted a bribe before Trump became president. And once Trump became president, Trump put him in the office. And then, of course, he got rid of a lot of the FBI people. And then he killed the case. And he actually had a judge that Trump appointed, also said it's no longer worth dealing with. But that case is going to go a little further, guys. It's not pushed under the rug as Trump wanted to see. But you guys are going to hear about that coming up soon.
Okay, single mother, thank you for the gifts.
We're not necessarily doing the panel as of yet. We start season 2 next month.
Yes.
Season 2 of J&B Live, and we will be doing the panel. So look forward to that. So I hope you continue to join us. We'd love to have you come up on the panel and be able to speak live.
Yes, we would.
We look forward to it. We want our day ones. We want our big gifters. We want all you guys to definitely come up and speak your mind while we are live. We want you guys to do that.
Thank you, Sunshine. And we agree with you. Sunshine says absolutely. We agree with you 100%.
All right, let's get on that crazy Lindsey Graham and that third term talking. Ooh, daddy
Lord
forever. Lord, we cannot deal with no third. Why are they even talking about a third term? For all the years of America being in existence, there's no such thing as a third term. So why this dictator wannabe is even pondering the idea of a third term? It just does not make sense.
Okay, so we're going to bring up Senator Lindsey Graham. Yes, he recently told Fox News, everything goes on Fox News. He really shouldn't even been able to make that comment. But he said, Trump 2028. I hope this never ends. He hopes his daddy term never ends. Poor baby.
And that's crazy because he floated the idea of an unconstitutional third term, even though the 22nd Amendment forbids more than 2 presidential terms.
Yes. But guess what? He's putting that rhetoric out there. And guess what, guys? There are hats that even say Trump 2028. It's a possibility that once he gets in office, and he is in office, of course, he's not going to want to leave. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to change the Constitution or create martial law or come up with some reason for him to stay in office. It's going to happen, guys. Mark my word, okay? So that statement tells us it's not just political support, it's devotion bordering on fanatic desire for permanence. In other words, he don't plan on leaving office, and when he does, I hate to say it, but he'll probably die in office.
Yes, sunshine.
And then he's leaving it for his sons to take over. Graham is effectively saying, "Make Daddy everlasting." That's what he's really saying.
Yeah,
and he does want to be king, sunshine. I agree with you.
Yeah, he does. And how you doing? How you doing, Gus Davis? We appreciate
Hey Gus,
you
how
joining
you
us.
doing? Thank you for joining us.
We definitely
Thank you for your
appreciate
gift,
that.
Gus.
Yeah, you guys totally understand what's going on here. See, a lot of people who haven't been paying attention don't understand. This man is tinkering around with the idea of a third term. Can you guys imagine what has happened already in the 8.5 months that we've dealt with Donald Trump's presidency already? Can you guys imagine what the next 3 years are gonna be like while he's still president? Let alone can we even fathom any more past that? I don't think we can, guys. Let me say something. That aligns with our thesis, what we're talking about today. That daddy, reflex means you want him in charge forever. Why stop at 2 terms? When the loyalty structure is already in place.
Yes,
we keep
is.
telling you guys, it's a cult. It's a cult.
Yes, it is. Okay. And of course, guys, the Constitution says that no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. That is, like Broker J said, this 22nd Amendment. That doesn't stop fantasy, guys, and it doesn't stop the talk, and it's not going to stop the GOP and the MAGA people promoting him and getting in his head, getting him to think that he can stay in office until he leaves this world. He's going to try to stay in office forever. And now, if we call him daddy now, can we call him king later, guys? What do y'all think? Is he going to be your king? Okay,
He gonna be my king.
Yeah, he wants to be your king.
He's not gonna be my king.
Yeah, Warren says everything happens for a reason. I do believe that, but we have to be careful. We have to know what's going on, and we have to speak up, because if nobody speaks up and says anything about him remaining in office for a third term. See, one thing about the Constitution is just a piece of paper unless it's enforced. So that means that the Supreme Court is responsible for enforcing the Constitution along with, that office, the federal government. But if it's not enforced, it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah. Love You said never. And Sunshine said that's why Graham threw that out there to get people thinking. You are absolutely right. As long as I got King Jesus. All right. Hey, Miss St. Jane.
Welcome back, Miss St. Jane.
We haven't seen you in a minute there, girl. Thank you for coming on back. All right now, because we getting into it tonight, y'all, because these cabinet members and Senate members are calling Trump daddy and looking for a third term. Is absolutely ridiculous. We are not going to stand for that.
Okay, guys. So now, and notice how no one stopped to say, "Wait, ain't nobody pushing back. Wait, you can't serve a third term. Nobody's saying nothing. You're violating the system when you've sworn to uphold it." But loyalty overrides the rules in that mindset. They're not saying one word. I'm not saying, no, you cannot serve a third term. They're just waiting it out.
Yeah, and that doesn't make sense at all. You know what, Dr. B, before we continue, let's go ahead and give a shout out to some of the people that joined us. We appreciate you guys. Some of you guys got in here late.
Terrence Brown, you guys. I know you guys are busy. We got Big Sosa, Tent. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys. Yes. Big P, how's it going? And Turn It Off said, I hate it for the next president. They got a lot of work to clean up. And you know what? You are telling the truth, because it will probably take them years to repair what Trump has done. And then again, I'm talking about 10 years, not 2 years. You may the after effects of what he done is going to take a long time to repair, especially when it comes to Medicare, Social Security, all of that stuff. He's tearing everything down, guys.
And
he
then
really
look at the bigger picture. Look at our allies.
Yes.
Look at the
those
people,
relations
the people that was allied with us before. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Miss St. James, you're going off tonight.
Yeah.
You're going off tonight. We appreciate you.
Yeah, with the chocolate waterfall. Thank you.
Yeah. It's just really getting crazy. But you know what, Doc B, how are we to push back? We're talking about that pushback and resistance. How are we to push back and resist? Of course, many are pushing back, but critics say this daddy talk is demeaning.
Yeah.
It's disempowering. Some see it as cultish. I keep telling y'all, it's a cult, But some black voices say, don't reduce me to a child in your fantasy. And I agree with that.
Yeah. But I see it as a cult as well because, I feel like some people are just brainwashed. They don't care what Trump has done to them negatively or how they've been impacted or family members. Everybody got an auntie, grandmama that may be impacted. They don't care. They will vote for him 10 times over. So they don't care. So others say that this daddy branding is deliberate. Yes, it is part of Trump's personality brand. He leans into dominance, masculinity, the alpha persona. Yeah, he wants to be seen as an alpha, which I don't think he is.
True.
But that helps him maintain that show.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate that gift, Sweetie Pie.
Yeah.
Came
hey,
through.
Sweetie Pie. I hadn't seen you in a while either.
She done came back and blessed us again. Juan also said that he left us to know that true powers disrespected. Yeah.
And he sent a blue lover. Thank you. We appreciate all of your gifts, and you guys are on it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your gift. Keep those gifts coming.
Yeah,
we appreciate
you guys helping us to reach our gift goal. We always appreciate you guys that looking out for us to keep this content coming. We thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you. Okay, guys.
Now, so here's our question for you guys. So do you call him daddy? Okay. Why or why not? And once you did you stop? Does the rhetoric limit your capacity to question or critique? So let us know in the comments, would you call him daddy? And if you do, why would you call him daddy? And if you don't, tell us why you wouldn't. We'd love to hear about it. Put it in the comments.
All right, turn it off. Say absolutely not.
I know that's right.
Gustavus said, no, I would not call him that. But he wants you to call him
I don't
daddy,
even like calling him
you,
president.
I know for a minute, I'm going to be honest with you, I refuse to refer to him as president. I would tell people when I had conversation about the president, I would say, your president.
Yeah. Our 34 count convicted felon president. That's what he is.
Yes. Okay, guys. So what happens when daddy disappoints or demands more than what you can give him? We need to step back and take a look and examine what the contract is and who's defaulting, because he has not stood up or withhold what he said he would do before he became president again.
It couldn't even fit in my father's shoes.
Oh,
I know
okay.
that.
All
okay.
right.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys. We're getting close. We're getting close to wrapping this thing up. Okay. But until we do what we want to do one more last time, we want to give a big shout out to all of our listeners across all ages. We've been looking at our analytics recently, and we realized that we are getting love from everybody. We're talking about from the millennials, the Gen Zs, the Gen X's, and the baby boomers. Yes. Everybody is loving the J&B Live, and we appreciate that. We thank you. We love you guys.
All the gifts.
We appreciate it. Thank you for all the students, the working folks, the elders. We see you guys. We hear you guys. Thank you for all of you guys that constantly love to share the J&B Live podcast. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the tips, the gifts, and thank you for messaging us. Even when we're not online, we're getting you guys messages. We hear you. We're bringing these stories that you guys are asking for. And remember to always, always, always tell a friend to listen.
Yes. And we appreciate everything that you do. Whatever you do, the likes, the shares, and the subscribes, they do go a long way, and they do not go unnoticed, guys. So final shout out to Nathaniel Coles, Miss Nail. It's Miss Nail. Thank you for joining us.
Terrence.
Yes, Terrence. We own like 4 different platforms, so if I miss someone, please forgive me. It's just that I'm trying to get trying to get these names in as quickly as possible. So thank you guys. Yeah, and I thought I saw Natasha. Jarrah. Yeah, thank you, Miss Jones.
Miss Jones.
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you guys for joining us. So my final thoughts is just thank you guys for riding with us. Thank you for all of the gifts. Thank you for the love. We love you guys back. And we appreciate everything you do. So thank you for taking this deep dive with us. For me, calling Trump daddy is just not benign. It's just not going to happen. It's a loaded statement that mirrors deeper power structures that surround race, gender, and identity. I hope all of our listeners understand that word matters. They may not realize that it matters, but to the Black community, it does. We must not surrender our voice thinking we're getting protection or validation in return, because we're not. Be skeptical of devotion without accountability, because he just telling you things and he's telling you what you want to hear. Just like that little tax rebate that he's been promising to give us, you'll never see it.
Never.
He's promising you things, and some people don't have the mental capacity to understand that he's just telling you that.
Exactly.
Okay. So to the Black community and all of our audiences, don't let language cage your resistance.
Exactly. And you know what, guys? I appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Okay. What's it say, Dr. B?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Here's my takeaway on today's topic. Okay. Daddy, it's a trap, when it consists of boundaries, transparencies that are missing. Trump is playing a branding, loyalty, and extraction kind of game.
Yes, he is.
And he wants you to feel needed. He wants you to feel special and indebted to him.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? But we must stay alert. Who's in control of the narrative? Okay? Who pays the price? Who gets left behind? Keep those questions in your head, in your conscience, and your voice.
Yes, that is true. All right. Love you, and you too. She said, he says, and we appreciate you. Thank you. You just don't know how much that means to us. We love you, and there's a reason why we do what we do. We do that so that we can inform and empower people, because we believe in sharing the real truth, because the legacy media is not sharing this information with you guys.
No, they're not.
And so we decided to do that on our own. When we first started, we didn't have that many listeners or followers, but our audience has grown. And we appreciate your support and rocking with us, okay? So if you love this episode, rate us, share it with your crew, drop quotes on X, Thread, IG, or any of the platforms. Stay ready, guys. Next week topics is going to stir you the same way. It's going to stir that pot again.
And remember, guys, what we want you to do is we want you to tag at Live with J&B, at Broker J3, and of course at Dr. B. And again, for this topic tonight that we're talking about, hashtag call daddy.
Daddy.
we want you guys' reactions. And remember, guys, as Dr. B said, we are on all social media platforms. Yes. We're usually live on about 5 platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Bigo Live. I mean, we're out there. So you guys can always catch us live on any of those platforms. And you can always catch our content on any of the social media platforms. Now, we do realize there are a lot of people that don't get a chance to really watch the videos. They don't have the time, but they love enjoying listening to the podcast. So if you guys enjoy listening to the podcast, you can always catch us on Amazon Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast listening enjoyment. Just look for J&B Live Podcast, and we'll be right there. We'll be right there, guys. So make sure you click on us so that you can follow us. And make sure, if you have a moment while you're still here and all our people are still here, make sure you go to YouTube. This is very important. Go to YouTube at Live with J&B, and that's at Live, Live, with JANDB. Okay, that's at Live with J&B. Make sure you guys go there and make sure you guys subscribe. Okay, we want you guys to subscribe. For a lot of you guys that's on the different platforms, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe. We want to see you guys. Okay.
All right, and shout out to those of you who added all of the comments. Juan, you've been there.
Juan, you've been serious today, Juan.
Thank you for joining us. It was a couple of people that were on the other platform that shouted out. Yvonne Jackson, we had King Rock. There was several of them that commented a lot. We thank you guys for all of your support, and thank you again for rocking with us. Thank you for the gifts. We appreciate those as well. So, guys, until next time, I am your girl. I am your favorite auntie, Dr. B. So I want you guys to stay sharp, stay informed, and stay free.
And again, I'm your boy, that guy, your favorite uncle, Broker J3. And as me and Doc B always like to tell y'all, let's talk about it.
Peace.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.